how did the sport change from when you first got into it? I mean, you've had a little time now to reflect. I mean, you did almost 2
Mhm.
decades, I guess.
Yeah, I got into the sport in '01. Heavily into the
Yeah.
sport. I rode mountain bikes all growing up, and in my day as a young kid, I would go back and forth between mountain bikes and BMX, and I would get on my mountain bike and I would try to get rad, and I'd break the wheels or bend the bars, and I'd be like, okay, I don't got enough money to fix this, so I'll just go ride my BMX. And the bikes sucked back then. You can remember back in the 90s, like they couldn't withstand nearly what, like a fraction, like a trail bike right now is like th- probably four times better than like the best bike back then. The brakes, the suspension, the materials, everything. So like seeing and going through that transition to like, okay, back in the early 2000s, okay, now we got some good suspension, our brakes are really good, bikes are getting a little lighter. It was a lot of like the technology that spearheaded, like the jump in, you know all the cool stuff that you've seen, and like the race times getting faster. And you can't take away from like raw talent like Palmer, and some of like the early guys that really pushed that and that technology to get faster. And it was kind of like a symbiotic relationship in some ways, but at the same time, I would rely a lot of it on the technology to see some rad shit. Because remember V brakes?